Hi, welcome to Quilting with Lori. In last week's video, I showed you how to get your scrap stash cut, sorted, organized, and ready to use by cutting up squares and strips and templates. This week, I'm going to share with you how you can take those squares and strips and make a beautiful and very simple quilt with them. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. We are going to be working on a very versatile quilt today. It's a very simple pattern. It's a 4-patch, but we're also incorporating strips of fabric. It's called the Versatile Diagonal Disappearing 4-patch. And here are some photos of what it could look like. I have created the wall quilt, but you could also make it larger with a lap quilt, or you could simply make it as large as you want for a huge king-size bed. It all depends on what you have in your scrap stash. So let's take a look at all of this and see how it's done. I've got lots of tips and tricks for you on making these blocks. You're able to use 4 patches of any size. I'm going to be pulling from my 5-inch bin of scraps because I have a lot of 5-inch squares that I can use. You might want to use 4-inch squares, 4.5-inch squares, maybe 6, 7, 8, 10-inch squares, whatever you choose. You'll make your 4 patches using those squares. What I did when I made my block is I simply put together a 4-patch that had 2 lighter and 2 darker squares. So you can see here, this is a finished one already where I've sliced it diagonally, but I have 2 darker and 2 lighter 4 patches. Then I went into my strips bin and I grabbed out, I chose 1.5-inch wide strips of fabric from my bin. You can either cut this from yardage or pull it from your bins, which is what I did. So I have some 1.5-inch darks here. And after I created my 4 patches, you simply put them together as a 4-patch, then I literally dissected this block, each block on the diagonal. I cut it from corner to corner through the center. And then I took that 1.5-inch strip and I sewed the block back together with the strip on that diagonal. When you are sewing your 4-patch together, and then after you've finished it and you need to press it, you can either press it by nesting it if you choose to do that, or pressing the seam allowances open is another great way to ensure that all of those seams lay flat. So as I have been quilting over the last few years, I find myself pressing seam allowances open quite a bit, but you don't have to. I went ahead and pressed these basically to one side. So all of this entire block, I pressed to one side and then cut it on the diagonal. Here we go. As you can see, it has been cut on the diagonal. Make sure you cut through the corners and directly through the center. You are going to lose a couple of points here, and that's okay. That's part of it, so no worries. As you can see in this block here that's finished, I have lost a couple of points on these 2 blocks. I brought you to my tabletop so you can see here was a 4-patch block that I had sewn together. And again, when I pressed my seam allowances, I simply pressed them all in one direction. So they're all going counterclockwise as I'm pressing them on this particular block. But if you were to press all of your seam allowances open, that would be a great way to accomplish this as well. So the choice is yours. There is a free PDF link in the description box below. It's also out on my website. It's a free pattern. It will tell you what I used to create mine. Again, I'm using 5-inch charm squares. You can use anything you want. You can use 4-inch squares, 6-inch squares, whatever you want. But when you are doing your strips, what you're going to want to do is cut a strip that is at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches longer than this diagonal center length. That way you can crease the center of the strip and you can make sure that it's attached right in the center there as you're sewing it together on each side. Press toward the dark seam allowance with this, which is the strip here. Then you're going to use your ruler and square up the ends and remove this excess fabric from these 2 corners. and then your block is done. You can do this so very, very quickly. Now, I have a few tips here that are going to help you to put this block together quickly and easily. Understand that everything that you've cut here on the diagonal is on the bias. So you're going to want to be very, very careful when you're sewing these two halves of your square to your strip. You don't want to stretch anything. I have creased this strip. I cut mine 14.5 inches long, which allowed me to have excess fabric on each end of this block once I've sewn it on. That pin there marks my crease line. You're not going to be able to see it, so I wanted to put the pin there so you can see that. Now I'm going to line up this point right sides together right on that pin there, and I will pin it. And then I'm going to ensure that you pin the two sides. And then make sure as you are stitching, so add pins along here, and then as you are stitching this on your sewing machine, you can start on the end here and give it a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, you are going to use a little bit of the point from this orange square. That's okay. But go ahead and stitch, making sure that you're not stretching anything. If you stitch with the strip on the bottom on your feed dogs, that will help you to prevent from stretching. So make sure that your strip lays up against your feed dogs and stitch, giving it a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then open that up. You're going to press that dark seam allowance to the dark strip, and then you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Once those strips, the strip is sewn on each side, you'll press it, as you can see I've done here. I've pressed it to the center, to the dark strip, and then you're going to use your ruler and square up the ends of each of these. And let me do that for you here. I'm simply going to take a square and square it up. So that's all the waste that you have there. So this one is ready to go to get placed with the next block. And one thing you'll want to remember, and I haven't yet squared this one up, but as you put them together, you're going to be placing the squares next to one another, and the strips are what is going to help create the beautiful design. Let me show you my finished wall quilt so you can see what that looks like. So here is my wall quilt. It's about 28 inches square. You can make yours bigger or smaller depending on the width of the borders that you're using and the size of your squares. I have 4 blocks here. These are the 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have them oriented within each row so that I create this beautiful diagonal maze here in the center. I added 1.5 inch width of fabric strips to the border here. So this is the inside border. And then I cut 4 inch widths. Maybe it was 4.5 inch widths. We'll have to look at the pattern, but I cut those and added those to the outside edge. And my quilt is ready now to be quilted, bound, and labeled. This is the PDF that is linked below in the description box. You can also quickly get it out on my website. Go to my shop in my website, quiltingwithlori.com, scroll to the right, and you'll see my store, my shop, and then scroll down to the PDFs, and then you can download it from there. It is a downloadable file if you order this or try to grab it using a device, whether it's an iPhone or an iPad. And ensure that you know where to locate the PDF. A device doesn't open a PDF like a normal PDF on a laptop. It throws that PDF into a file folder on your device where it saves it for you. So understand that your device takes downloadable PDF files and throws them into a secure folder on your device. And you need to know where your device is storing them so that you can locate it. That's just a heads up on that. But I do have this free PDF link for you so that you can grab it. If you go to your laptop and download it, it just opens up as a regular PDF. And that's what most people are familiar with. But there are a number of options here for making this. You'll see the wall quilt that I have designed here and made for you on my tabletop. Here is a lap quilt, which is great. It's a much bigger one. It's about 50 inches square. And it could be a completely different size based upon what size squares you start out with and what size strips you're using. If you have a lot of scraps in your stash, you can make this quilt as large as you'd like, maybe even a king size quilt if you've got a lot of charm squares that you'd like to use, or any other size square. Maybe if you're using a larger square, maybe if your squares are maybe 8 inches square and you're making 4 patches using 8-inch squares, you might want to consider using strips that are 2 or 2.5 inches wide. And that's going to make a nice size block, a pretty good size block. So that will eat up a lot of your scrap stash, which is great. You'll be using your stash to make beautiful quilts. And this is a quilt that you can make very, very quickly. And it's a beautiful design. Some other ideas for you. Of course, I've made a patriotic quilt, and this is a size that is going to fit beautifully on my kitchen wall. I've got a certain size area there that I can put wall quilts. And if you know me, I have so many quilts in my home that I no longer make large quilts. I just don't have room for them. So I am making mostly wall quilts, and I have areas within my entire home where I do hang them, and I change them out seasonally, or just when I want to use another one in a particular location. I love to do that. I have a lot of fun changing the decor. But this one is patriotic, and I'll be able to use this quite often in my kitchen or in my living room area as well. You could make this for babies or for a generosity project. You could use lots of scraps from your stash if you belong to a guild and you need to do a generosity project for maybe a NICU or for a home, children's home, or maybe even for the nursing homes. You could make some beautiful lap quilts or some quilts for those generosity projects that are so very needed in our community. So I hope that you'll consider that. It's a great way to use up your scrap stash. Another way you could use this pattern is to grab charm packs that are maybe a seasonal charm pack, or just a beautiful line of fabric that you love. That would be absolutely gorgeous. And then get corresponding strips and other fabric. If you don't have a stash yourself, you might have some charm packs that you really love, that you bought, that you want to use. And this might be the perfect quilt for that charm pack. So don't forget to grab the PDF. It's a free pattern for you. You can either go to the description box below and grab it there, or go out to my website on the shop and grab it from that point there and make that beautiful quilt. I would love to hear from you, and let me know what you plan to use to make your beautiful diagonal disappearing 4-patch quilt. Are you going to go patriotic as I have? Or are you going to make a generosity project? Are you going to make a very large quilt, a king size or a queen size, or a lap quilt? You're going to use your scraps, or is there a favorite line of fabric that you plan to use? Let me know in the comments. I love to read comments from my viewers. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to do that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, and then leave comments and hit that like button. All of that really does help my content to get out to other viewers just like yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy quilting.